Hi everyone, it's Sarah, and welcome back to my channel! As you know, or if you're new to my channel, then you would know that I am profoundly deaf in both ears, and I have a cochlear implant on my right ear. Because I do have a disability, or to put it in a nicer way, I am not able to hear out of my ears. I have different ways of getting by rather than a hearing person. Before some people explode and get offended by the word of disability, I wanted to clear up something. This means no, and ability means possession of skills or means of something. Disability for me is I am not able to hear with my own ears. So I am fine with the term disability just because it just says I am not able to do this small certain action of my life. So I am not able to hear with my own ears, and that's fine. I think that's alright because I accepted that. Disabled people require a little bit more assistance rather than able-bodied people, and that's fine. All humans need a little bit assistance in some areas than some others. I like to think that we're not broken, but rather wired differently. We disabled people were wired differently than able-bodied people, just like how I'm wired differently from my sister. We don't have the same brain neuron paths. We all are different, and we need to accept that fact. My sister, her brain's wired a little bit different because she's ADHD. And my brain's wired a little bit differently from hers. We all have different life experiences. And each person that you see, they don't look like you. They don't walk like you. They don't talk like you. Everyone's wired differently. And some of us just need a little bit more help to get by than some others. And I think that's alright. Although my disability is more of an invisible one, it's still there. And it's not going to go away. I love it when I see actors or dancers or anyone in the entertainment industry that look like me or have the same disability as me, because it feels like we're being represented in such a huge area of business. Where am I going with this again? Oh, that's right. Today I am reacting to disabled characters played by both able-bodied people and disabled people. Essentially, what I'm getting at is that movies and TV shows, they haven't had a greatest past using disabled characters. They're slowly getting better, but I just wanted to do this because I was inspired by BUZZFEED, the video of the disabled people reacting to disabled characters. And I thought it would be fun for me to do this. Hollywood is slowly getting better with the representation of disabled characters and actors on the screen. Sure, they're far from perfect, but no, it's okay to make mistakes here and there. But they're getting a lot better, and I do have to admit that. I think it's important for able-bodied people to understand that misrepresentation of the disabled community does really put a distorted idea about us and who we are. We're just side characters, or we're just someone whose storyline doesn't really develop, or we're broken and we can never be fixed. It makes it a lot harder for younger audiences who have a disability to accept themselves for who they are, because they see an able-bodied person play a character that looks like them, and they act like they're broken and they can never be fixed, or they're fixed through, oh look, I'm healed, I can walk again, or look, I don't have a disability anymore. It doesn't work like that, and I think Hollywood needs to realize, let's get the show on the road. Eddie Redmayne as Stephen Hawking in The Theory of Everything. I thought this movie was brilliantly done. It was so perfect. Eddie Redmayne is so good. Stephen Hawking was a real man who suffered from motor neuron disease, or ALS as we know. So he was not able to move, but his brain was still functioning. Most people with ALS only survive from 2 to 5 years from diagnosis, but Stephen Hawking lived for 55 years after that, which is incredible. He is an incredible man. He's intelligent, and it was beautifully done. Eddie Redmayne got all the characteristics of Stephen Hawking's perfect. It was just well done on his job. It's understandable that Eddie Redmayne, an able-bodied person, was to play Stephen Hawking, a person with ALS, because no movie industry or any person in real life who gets diagnosed from ALS would want a movie set following them around for 2 to 5 years before they die and make them pretend they're Stephen Hawking for their last years of their lives. That just won't work. And Eddie Redmayne, I love you. Kevin McHale, who played Artie from Glee. Okay, let's get this straight. I love the show. Oh my god, I love all their music. I love the show. Oh, such a huge fan. My mom, my sister, and I, we would sit at home and we would watch Glee together. It was our family night kind of thing. We would love the music they play. I discovered music just because Glee sang some of the stuff. It was a fun show to watch. So we met Artie, who was played by Kevin McHale, a guy who's paralyzed waist down and who uses a wheelchair going through high school. The most iconic thing about the actor and his character is that Kevin himself is such an amazing dancer, and to put him in a wheelchair for the entire show was crazy because, well, why wouldn't you want to take advantage of a really good dancer for your show? I get it that later in the show they wanted him to stand up and, dance and sing a song in his dreams or his daydreams, but it's just hard to understand why they wouldn't want to cast someone who was actually in a wheelchair for the show, since there's multiple people out there who are in wheelchairs, who are paralyzed from waist down, and can sing. At the time, they didn't realize how impactful and empowering it would have been for the disabled audience to see someone like them on the screen doing that and being successful. Another thing that kind of sucked, especially for his character, is that we never got to see him fully accept who he is as a person in a wheelchair. Jacob Tremblay as Augie in Wonder. Jacob Tremblay, you are such an amazing actor. You are beautiful. You are incredible. You are so mature. And to take on a role like this, you are amazing. And I love you. Now, I must admit, my mom cried watching this movie. We watched it twice and she cried both times. Almost the entire movie. At first, I admit I didn't want to see the movie. I read the book years before, and it's always been on my shelf, and I always loved the book because it showed the depth of Augie's character and how much he matured and his struggle going through school, having a disability, and how isolating it is. And I was afraid that the movie would screw that up. I was afraid they were going to make it cheesy and not watchable. The thing I loved about this movie is how they validated the struggle of having a disability, especially a very visible one, and how isolating it can be to have a disability. We see Augie get bullied, get teased, be isolated from all his peers, and I relate to that because I was bullied and isolated from my peers for being different. I loved how we see the struggle of his character and accepting who he is in front of strangers. Yeah, it was easy for him at home to accept who he is and play as an astronaut and whatnot, but going outside, it was so much harder because he knew that everyone was judging him because they didn't know him. And I loved how they validated the struggle of that. The only thing I kind of struggled with in this film is that they gave Augie the character award. The conflict to me is that, are they giving him the award because of his disability, or are they giving him the award because he actually deserved it? And I really do hope it's the second option, but I don't know. All of us, disabled or able-bodied, we all go through struggles, and we all have character growth in ourselves, and we all have struggles. We all just struggle in life. So that's why I was kind of iffy on, were they giving it to him because of a disability, or were they giving it to him because he had courage in the face of diversity? Peter Dinklage as Tyrion Lannister from the Game of Thrones. I am obsessed with the Game of Thrones. Oh my god, it is my favorite show ever. Peter Dinklage is such an amazing actor. He's just brilliant. I love him. I love the show. I love him. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. His character Tyrion is one of the best round characters ever. He's so dynamic. He's a drunk, but he's brilliant. Oh, I love him. I love the struggle. I love everything. I just love the show, and I love his character. Game of Thrones, you're doing it right. You're doing it perfectly. I love how they didn't give him like the comedy role, not the, oh, because he's a dwarf, he should be funny. No, they gave him, his character's witty and sarcastic and really intelligent and witty, oh my gosh, yes, witty. But he's not just there for comedy. He has a real good story behind him, and his character's growth, amazing. He's beautiful. He's a really good dynamic character that everyone loves. No one can hate him. Game of Thrones? Oh, I love you. I love you. I can't stop gushing about Peter and Game of Thrones and his character. And I need to stop before I go on forever, because I can. Maleficent Simmons from A Quiet Place. When this movie came out, I got super excited. I am totally into horror, I am totally into thriller, and to have that kind of movie, oh, I was really excited. I was also really excited because they had ASL, and I knew they were signing, so I was like, oh, cool, finally, a movie that can sign, yay. Also, the fact that it was a big screen, and people would be going to a movie theater to see this, and it's international, I was like, yeah, that's real good. What I didn't expect was the first scene when, you know, the boy's running and whatnot, but there's a shot of Maleficent's head, and all you see is a cochlear implant, and I died. I died. My heart stopped. My heart ran out of my chest. It came back in, and it came back to life. I was shook. I did not expect that at all. I did not expect to see anything about cochlear implants on the screen. I didn't expect that. I didn't know the actress herself was deaf until I did more research on her. And John Krasinski, yeah, that's what we needed. That's what I really needed to see, is someone who's using a cochlear implant on screen. That's what I really needed to see, and I thank you for that. Maleficent, thank you for being an amazing actress. Thank you. Thank you. John Krasinski, thank you for having a deaf person in your cast. Thank you for actually taking your time to go and find a deaf actress to be in your movie. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What I really liked was the fact that her deafness wasn't pushed to the side. It actually really contributed to the storyline, especially the cochlear implant really contributed to the storyline. And it was amazing for me to see that on screen and see not just one small aspect of the deaf community, but the deaf community as a whole. So, you guys did really good. Quiet Place, really good. It's so good. Zachary as Daphne in Switched at Birth. Okay, I admit, I couldn't watch the show. I actually got really bored watching the show. I tried, okay? I'm sorry, I tried. I'll give it another go, I promise. I tried, I really tried. But I really liked how they used a deaf actress Katie to be in the show and how they actually got deaf people to be in the show and signing and whatnot. I thought that was beautiful. Thank you. They did a really good job with the cast. I'll just give another go. Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye in the Marvel Universe. Marvel, please hire me. I'll do anything for you. I love you. I love you so much. I have a very unhealthy obsession with Marvel. I cannot get enough of Marvel. I just love Marvel. Oh my god, they are my favorite. Thank God for Stan Lee and the Russell brothers, because Marvel would never been the same without them. Oh, they are beautiful. Character Clint Barton, also known as Hawkeye, was first featured in the comic book in 1964 alongside with the Black Widow, aka Scarlett Johansson. His character is deaf in the comics, and we all see that, especially when Deadpool signs to Clint and lifts off his mask. So we all knew that Clint was deaf in the book. Clint Barton is really witty and sarcastic, and he has perfect one-liners, and we don't really get to see that in the film, but we mainly see his character in the book. So I'm really excited if they do a Hawkeye film, and I want a Black Widow film, please. Besides that, we're focusing on the character. Hawkeye is supposed to be deaf. In the films, they did not make him deaf. And that was disappointing, especially watching The Avengers and getting to see Jeremy Renner play Hawkeye. I was kind of disappointed because I was excited to see Hawkeye and him sign a bit or make a note that, oh yeah, I'm deaf. Like, I was kind of excited for that, but, you know, Marvel didn't pull that off. I was really shocked because Stan Lee did create him, and Stan Lee is the producer of Marvel, and he didn't really put that into the storyline, and I was kind of disappointed, but that's nothing on Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner is beautiful. You're an amazing actor. I love you. I want to meet you. I want to meet the entire cast. I want to be in the cast. Oh my god, I want to be an Avenger so bad. Marvel is doing a lot better now, especially with diversity. We got to see that especially in Black Panther. It's a diverse cast of the African American community in there, and that was amazing. And they're slowly getting there. We're seeing more diverse people join the cast, and I'm really excited about that. So, Marvel, please let me join. I just wish they worked more with Jeremy Renner in developing his character Hawkeye and kind of including more of his comic book character. But I still love the Avengers, I still love Marvel, I still love everyone in the show, and oh my god, I want to be in Marvel. This is nothing on Jeremy Renner, but if they wanted a deaf character in Marvel's Avengers and whatnot, they should have got a deaf person to play them. I don't know, question mark. I think that would have been cool to see one of us on the screen. I don't know. But Marvel's getting there, it's getting better, and hopefully they'll have more inclusive, diverse cast rather than just able-bodied people. Thank you so much for watching my video. I wanted to clarify that I do not hate or dislike anything. I don't dislike the actors, actresses, film producers, directors. No hate for them. I love how they're expressing their art through film, and I congratulate you guys on that. But producers and directors do need to be more culturally aware that they just can't throw in a disabled character and make it a static character. There's no involvement, no development. They can't just have them on the side just to please the audience, but they need them in part of the storyline that helps develop the storyline, and that there's so many of us that we can look at those characters and we can be inspired by them, and we can be inspired by the disabled actors that are playing those roles rather than just able-bodied actors that are just faking it, and it's a very complicated thing. If they were planning for a character to have a disability, I think it would be great if they took some time in to actually find a person with that disability out there, because there's so many of us. And I think they just don't search hard enough, or they don't want to put in the effort. They're like, oh, we'll just get an able-bodied person, and then we'll just do some research, and then they can go off of that. Like, maybe if you can get someone who is disabled to play their disability, who actually have full-on experience with a disability, the film would be a lot different. The film industry would be a lot different. In special cases like ALS, it's so understandable to have an able-bodied person to play that role, just because, yeah, you understand. So please don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and comment below if you like this video, what do you disagree with, what do you agree with, any comments, any tips for my videos. Post below what you want to see too, because I need inspiration and I can't get that without you guys. So, have a nice day and I'll see you later.